Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today's build and play guide is on the Marlborough, a Tier 8 British battleship that I absolutely love and I think is underrated, like especially at Tier 8 where there is like Musashi that, in my opinion, is more overrated. I'd rather be in this, honestly. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the shop here, guys. It is currently in the store right now under the special, and it is for doubloons. And also keep in mind that you may have a coupon for Steel 8, giving you even more of a discount for the pinatas, um, the currency for the event. So if you're watching this as this video is coming out, it is in the store. You can get it without doubloons. So pretty cool little deal here. Now, reason for the build and play guide is if you guys seen in the traverse speed or the battleship traverse video, I learned a lot new about traverse speeds on battleships, and I was doing it all wrong, right? And I would rather showcase this in a better light because I switched how I built this, and the first game out clearly showed a much different result. So, that being said, guys, we are going to show you the commander. We're using Azure Lane Nelson with Pablo de Rival and Yamato as inspirations. Why is that? Because I wanted to get some traverse and some dispersion. And this little bit of traverse right here does as much as that first slot does of the 20%. So quit using percentage for, as you guys, if you've seen the traverse speed guide, don't use percentage, use degrees on battleships for your traverse speed. All right. Kendrov, if you want to put Kendrov on, it does insane amount. But I wanted to kind of get the combination dispersion as well. And just that 0.6 does as much as the 20% in the first slot for the modifications. So that being said, we're using Flammable Cannoneer, Big 7, Marksmanship, Master Mechanic, and Fight Fire with Fire. And if you guys go ahead, any commander you use that you kind of use on your HE battleships for Great Britain will work just fine. All right. So if you don't have Nelson or Yamato, you could use Madden here if you wanted to use Madden in place of Yamato. Or I would recommend Kendrov way more. But Yamato does have that, or that Madden does have a nice reload perk here. A little bit to help it out as well. That's up to you. First slot, we're taking aiming systems mod 1 instead of this terrible traverse speed 20% here. Something I didn't realize for a long time playing this game. Second slot, propulsion. Third, concealment as always. And main battery mod 3 here. Now, this does hurt your turret traverse speed, and I could see an argument why a person would actually take the AA damage here. We'll talk about that later when you guys see the armor on this thing. Yes, AA and armor related here. So that being said, for your consumables, you have 4 really good super heals, and I believe these are even better than Conquerors for heal over time. Let me go ahead. We'll pull that up really quick just so you guys can see. Conquerors heal with the same commander. Yeah, it is. Okay, so people don't talk about how good this heal is. I mean, they'll say it's good, but they don't realize how good it is a lot of times. It is arguably the best heal in the game, I think. Pretty close if it ain't. So, and then you do have enhanced secondary targeting. So outside of heals, you really don't have much for consumables because you're not really going to use that secondary targeting, really. 76,000 hit points with a 28% armor reduction. And you do have 16, yes, 16 14-inch guns. I know they're only 14-inch guns, guys, but you have 16 of them. And it's not like they reload in 30-some seconds. It's 21. Okay? Yeah, I know. It's a crazy broadside. And it's not like they don't do any damage. right? The 12,000 per shell, pretty good for 14-inch guns. Given the right opportunity, this thing is an absolute DPM monster for a battleship, right? You are throwing 16 shells that can do almost 13,000 AP. However, um, because it's British and you have wonderful HE pen, by the way, these 14-inch guns pen 89 millimeters of armor. They have the quarter pen, meaning that basically everything on a battleship will get full pens off of the HE outside of the belt. All right. And you do have the opportunity once in a while to get citadels with this HE on exposed citadels on cruisers. So, and honestly, it's nice to hit a destroyer with this HE. That being said, these guns have like a 1.4 Sigma. That's worse than Pommern. So we have built into the dispersion, as you can see, for good reason. I hadn't done that before, and the main guns were real bad, as you're going to see from my stats. Now they're a lot better. I'm not saying you're hitting every shell, but you will notice a significant difference. Now, as you can see here, the HE 6100 and 24% fire chance. Now, that doesn't sound very good for a battleship, but when you have 16 guns reloading every 20 seconds, that is obnoxious fire chance. All right, it's not good per shell, but because you're throwing 16 shells every 20 seconds downrange, that is an obnoxious fire chance. All right, there is no ship that I own that I have more withers in than this one. Not even Conquer, although Conquer is pretty close. They are very good, both very good at fire starting. I'm not trying to say this is better than it. I'm just saying I have the most withers here on this. Not Suzuya, not Blazing Dread, not Bayern. It's Marlborough that I have the most withers with. All right. Although when you get the opportunity, use AP. It's pretty good when you get it on target. AA defense, this is not as good as it looks for a few reasons. AP carriers will give this thing an absolute run for its money. I'll show you why on the armor. And most of your armor or your AA is within 3.5 kilometers. That's why I said if you took the AA mod in the last slot, I could see the argument for that when you're down at tier 7. This thing would absolutely start to shred planes if you were out past 4 kilometers, right? With a lot of that 3.5 there. And then your 5.2 would be almost out to 6. All of a sudden, this thing has really good AA instead of overrated AA. Because honestly, this thing doesn't shoot down a ton of planes until they're on top of you. Maneuverability, 31 knots, 860 turning circle, and a relatively decent rudder at 15 seconds. Concealment 13.3, but it is a battleship. You're not sneaking up on a dead moose in open water. Stats. This is why I built into the main gun accuracy. Also, when I first got this thing, I used to get dead struck all the time in it. Let's be clear about that. So my stats, obnoxiously bad on win rate because I was a detriment to my team when I first got this. You cannot sail broadside in this ship. I can assure you when you see the armor scheme, you will see why. All right. And you can see the main gun accuracy at 30%. That's why we built into to dispersion and accuracy now. Way better results. Right off the get, I had my best game ever in this thing. So, first match, I had the best game ever with it. So this is a build I'm going forward with now. But anyway, you can see even with a bad start on this ship, my first 40 battles were awful in this ship. I didn't know what I was doing sailing broadside. It still did very good. And you can see now my average damage is coming up to 96. I can assure you I'm averaging about 140 to 150. This is a game now that I know how to play the ship. And the potential damage is at 1.1 million. Right now, if I want a high damage game, this is probably in my top 10 of ships to play to put up a huge number for now. Armor. This is kind of a downside, and I'll explain why. Can you angle to everything that's shooting AP? Absolutely, right? This is 32 millimeter, bow and stern. Only thing that's going to give you a problem is Musashi and Yamato, and they're going to give you a heck of a problem, right? If you don't angle, and you got to be careful angling with this ship because the ship doesn't have the best firing angles. Sometimes you got to shoot with only your front guns. That's okay because you still have 8 of them reloading in 20 seconds on the front. All right, so don't panic. It's fine to shoot only the front guns on this. The other problem, the one thing I will say about this ship, though, that I don't think many people talk about, this thing is wrapped in 32. The deck is 32, meaning you're going to take a lot of HE pens, which is fine because you have super heals. Where the problem is I have noticed AP carriers also wreck this thing. And why is that? Because under that deck isn't too far that this is the Citadel right there. And for AP carriers, they love that. And also, if you go broadside in this thing, you will die very quickly. If you make a mistake and over angle, you will die quickly. However, once you get used to it and you angle right, tough ship against AP. HE, obviously, you heal everything back, so you're not worried with them really good heals. But AP, you angle, all right? And you can angle absolutely fine. But if you don't, this is your Citadel. It's ginormous. I can't think of a Citadel that might be bigger in the game, actually. But I cannot stress enough, if you get a broadsides, load AP. Because at 16 shells, it doesn't matter how good the AP is. You will absolutely wreck somebody, as you can see. Now, we spawn here in the middle on Greece. And we're going to stay middle. And like I said, this is our first match after kind of going back to a dispersion build. And you guys are going to kind of see the results a little bit. Normally on HE spammers, I don't worry too much about accuracy. Kind of wanted to spread out a little bit to start fires. However, the accuracy at Marlborough at 1.4 sigma, so bad you do need to help it a little bit. And I had forgotten about kind of that because the 16 shells make up for that. And we're definitely going to showcase a much better game. In fact, this is going to be the best game I have ever had in Marlborough. Now, I wish I had played it this way for the last how long, but early on when I got this ship, I played it absolutely like an idiot. Just having fun shooting out broadsides. I do like Marlborough quite a bit. Like I said, guys, this is absolutely one of my favorite ships in the entire game. Definitely at battleships at tier 8. I like it as much as Wisconsin. I know that's not a popular opinion. That's just me. Now, we spawn middle here in Greece, and you notice we're right up by the cap. We're not running to the back like a normal Marlborough or Conqueror would. Don't do that. You don't have to do that. Just limit who can shoot you. And you can see here, I am not being dumb and going completely broadside to get all my main guns off. You don't need to. Half of your guns has as much DPM as most battleships that play correctly. So, right, the opportunity presents itself. Make sure you stay angled. Don't give up your broadside. You can do the warship wiggle, swing that back out when you get time, or when you have the proper angling to do it. But remember, guys, this thing doesn't have the best firing angles on it sometimes, and you can get wrecked in this ship if you are not careful. Now, we're going to back up out of Shima Torps. And even though we didn't kill Shima, we were getting ready to help out. And that's what you got to do. This ship, when it sees destroyers, man, with 16 shells, you're going to hit some of them. And they're going to hurt destroyers quite a bit. So, again, you see another destroyer. We're going to take another shot. Now, generally, they're pretty productive at taking out destroyers. Everybody knows that... honestly, the only thing I was ever scared of in a Gdansk is a conch, because you get spotted by anybody and there's a conquer around you, it can be rough, and that's no different with Marlborough. Now, that being said, we're going to start our fires, right? So what you're going to do mostly in this ship, got low caliber guns. Gonna have a rough go of citadeling some battleships, you know, but we're kind of just taking a look at our targets, and we're trying to spread out the love of fires, right? You guys see Musashi just let his burn, and we're gonna start to try to focus on Zhao as well here, because Zhao can be a major problem in the right hands of the right player. Musashi, we're actually staying unspotted right now. We're close enough in to all these islands that actually help hide us. And you can see Price in here is going to get a rude awakening from Marlborough. And it's going to take a couple samples, but you guys are going to see a little bit of a showcase of these guns in action and how much damage they can do very quickly. It's a Pricing with basically 100,000 health, and we just chunked him. And he's on a damage con now. We're going to send another set of 16 shells down his way. And you guys are going to see this Pricing is not going to have a lot of health for very long. You can see we're in a bad spot. We're only 2 battleships up against 5 of these other ones, right? And in a position to... We have the caps because we have a very good... I want to note that we do have a very good Hayate player in this match. And kudos to him. As you can see, we do set another fire on Pricing. The Hayate player in this match is going to be a huge help for spotting and getting caps. He's going to play Hayate as good as I've seen Hayate played recently. He's going to steal a couple kills, maybe. No, he deserved it. He was a solid player. Got to talk to him a little bit after the match. Seemed a very nice guy. So, we have a double fire. That's when you load AP. We don't have a whole lot of targets, and Pricing's kind of a threat, obviously, with its accuracy. See? Pretty solid chunk without even getting a Citadel. Is that about 20,000 off that salvo? We've had a little bit of a slow start, but you're going to see this is going to ramp up quite a bit. Just in a couple minutes here, without even getting a Citadel, Pricing has lost all his health to us. And he is now gone. And one thing about having prop mod too, by the way, is you can stop and start, and you can dodge shells that way as well in this ship. Now, again, to showcase, even though this is not a sniper, you're gonna see these this Zhao, and this Zhao is gonna get away with murder here. We're gonna hit him pretty good on the first salvo, but you notice only 3 of our shells hit. We're gonna get a little bit unlucky with this Zhao, because he's not really doing anything to dodge. We're just having a rough go of it. And yes, we do know the base is being capped, so we're trying to push up and get ourselves in a position to help out with that. And you can see at this point, I was like, alright, we're going to just switch to HE and try to burn Zhao down if we get the opportunity. So we're going to push up. Also, pushing up, there could be a destroyer in the cap, obviously. In fact, that is what it is. And that's, you know, why we're pushing the HE as well, because when we get there, you know, if he gets spotted, we're going to try to death strike him. Alright. It's like a big thing for me, obviously, hunting destroyers. Now, we had some bad luck on Zhao. We're asking for some spotting here. We're trying to get rid of Zhao, but Zhao is not... Right? The Zhao doesn't have my broadside, and I got to be very careful here. And you're going to see... I would love to shoot Zhao and get rid of him, but I know I have a real bad threat over here with a couple of battleships that have a lot of health left, right? And I'm the only thing that these guys can see, so I have to be careful. Zhao, Montana, and I think it's Musashi or Yamato over here. We're going to square up against 2... Yeah, it's the Yamato. We're going to square up against 3 legendary ships here, and 3 of pretty solid legendary ships, and try to do our best to stay alive. And you're going to see a little bit, it's going to be a little bit tough, and we're going to play dodgy or warship wiggle here, and we're going to kind of bounce around, get shells, stop Montana from capping the best we can, stay angled the best we can as well. And you can see we're making Montana miss a lot of shells. And we got our Wither, which, I mean, you could basically get a Wither in your sleep in this ship, along with Conqueror. And now it's time to start working on Yamato as we get our high caliber. And again, right now, we're the only thing these guys can shoot at. So you gotta be super careful, man. And we're gonna just keep chucking shells down on both of them. Now, Zhao, I can't really worry about right now. I got a bunch of ships, or, you know, Montana and Yamato. One that's hyper accurate, and Yamato who overmatches me. So I have to be very careful. Right? This is not something you could lose your health at real quick. And you can see the destroyer get spotted here. We're going to take a shot at the destroyer, even though he's stopping in the smoke. It doesn't matter. It's a destroyer. You've seen me shoot at all 3 destroyers in this match to help out. And again, we're going to work on trying to get everybody back on fire. You can see Montana's not on fire anymore, so we must fix that. And at the same time, we're just kiting away. These guys have got to go after caps to help points. They have no choice. This is what they have to do. Also, driving away from a Hayate, a much smarter than option than driving at a Hayate. Alright, and you can see we're trying to get Hayate spotted so we can, or take a shot at Hayate. You're going to see here Montana. We're going to turn out, but we're going to take a shot at Montana. He must have expected us to turn out more than what we did, as we do finish off taking Montana. Now, I can't make that turn. I've already turned too much, and I get absolutely slapped by Yamato. I'm lucky I'm alive, right? But I did want to stay in a position to help on this Hayate. And you're going to see here, we do only get 1 shell. We get a little bit unlucky with that. And I'm just staring down, and hopefully Hayate doesn't eat all them shells, and he does. But we do have another Hayate on our team, the one that is a solid player, and we are spotted right now, so we know the destroyer's there, and we got to get a heal back. And that's the one thing with Marlborough, is you got some insane heals, right? As long as you don't take too many citadels, you're gonna be like, when you're getting burnt to the ground, just let it burn. Like, sometimes I even let 3 fires burn on this ship, just because you're going to get it all back. And to kind of help conserve heals. Now, we're in a bad spot here. Yamato overmatches us. We're using the island to take cover. And our destroyer, you can see, is spotting for us. And this is going to be huge in a critical situation here, because this match could still go any way, right? If their destroyer ends up killing our destroyer and me, it's not good. You know, we still lose this match. We might have points, but we got to be careful, and that's what I'm trying to do. We're going to send some shells down range. We're going to get a fire on Yamato. He is going to let it burn here for a little bit, as the smart thing to do. But you see, we have squared up against a few legendary ships in this match, right? Preußen, some of the best ships in the entire game. And we have clearly held our own. And we didn't do it by being at the back of the map in the beginning, right? Right now we're kiting away and using island cover, but we don't have much health. And we've already wrecked as much as you can, right? Like, we have, what, 240,000 damage right now? It's a pretty solid game when you're bottom tier. As you can see, we hit 9 shells, get a double fire, and he's essentially dead, right? So all I'm trying to do, he's blind firing me. All I'm trying to do is make sure I'm not going to be killed by Yamato being dumb last second, right? Now, it does look like he does have a heal. As you can see, he is getting some health back. And he's holding up to these double fires, so we got to take 1 more shot across the island. We do get spotted for a second, but his shells are not lobby enough to actually hit us. We do take him down. And now all that is left is the destroyer. So we're pretty much in a good position. I'm not spotted, so I know the destroyer isn't there. And we know that he now is in decap, and I am asking for spotting because it would be nice to finish this game on a solid note, obviously. And there's no point in waiting for the points. Let's just kill him, right? And sure enough, our destroyer goes and spots him. It's an amazing thing. And we're going to go ahead and put some shells downrange. And you can see, we hit one. Now, if that Hayate was a little bit closer, he probably would have then been pretty easily murdered there. As you can see here, we're going to put some more shells. And we did try to help get rid of all the ships. And so, thank you for Savage for spotting, doing a good job on caps. He did send me a screenshot after the match. He ended up having, I think, 80,000 and 4 kills. So very solid game to him. We had a 3,200 base game with 275 or 77,000, a high caliber, a dreadnought, a wither. Pretty solid match, and you can see the accuracy definitely paid off. Going more accuracy route and having the extra traverse. But anyway, you guys have a super wonderful day, and I will see you folks next time.